No, come on.
He's got a dirt bike. He rides a dirt bike at 6 years old.
Wow. That's pretty rad.
Well, he's my kid. Of course he's a badass, you know?
Of course. We're going to get into that about how you built a shed in your backyard and everything. And I was going over some of your stuff. I'm like, man, it's crazy, man. You've had a crazy life.
Yeah. It's been all right.
But it's funny, man, like both me and you have like severe ADHD. So this quarantine is like.
Oh, dude, like I'm going nuts.
I mean, you're doing like, you do like 100 things, man. Like between being a stunt guy and training yourself and doing comedy and being a parent and fly fishing and all this other stuff. I can't imagine you just stopping all of that.
I was just on the phone with my buddy just called. He's out scouting somewhere right now for a place to camp. He's out on his dirt bike, driving all over the place. It's one of the guys from the first season of Ultimate Fighter. His name's Alex Schonauer. And so he's out there dirt biking, looking for some spots for us to bring the boys to camp. And he'll let me know. Send some bombs up there, son. Yeah, send it up there. Blow those guys to pieces.
I'm recording this, by the way, because we recorded before the show too, just so you know.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even I used to take her and the baby for walks. I mean, her and the dog for walks. I don't even do that anymore. Like, I'm not putting a mask on a 2-year-old. I can't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I can't even explain it to it. Well, you have to wear a 2-year-old because a guy ate a bat in China, and now everybody's it's like,
yeah.
you have to.
Dude, have you seen what that wet market looks like?
No.
Jeez, don't do it.
Really?
Yeah, don't do it. It's bad. Like, they got kittens and puppies and stuff there to eat, and they're just sitting there waiting to be, bought and brought home and poached. That's how they do it. They just throw them right into and poach them, instant poach them. It's so gross.
I did comedy in Wuhan.
Yeah?
I did stand-up comedy in Wuhan. It was crazy. They didn't speak any English. We told them we want a regular show. Just, it's like not even called comedy. It's called American Talk Show because it's American Talk Show.
Sure.
And they gave us a smoke machine because they thought it was like a rock show. So right when they introduced me, I just get blazed with like all this. I can't see. I'm like coughing. The crowd, like 80% don't speak English. They're just staring at me like, what the fuck is going on? And it was. Then people started laughing because it was like so ridiculous, and I'm like, oh, the air is not bad enough in this country. You got to put the smoke machine. Like I was trying to make the best out of. I told you, they encourage pollution over there. I'm not kidding. Like I went and threw something away, and my buddy who lived there was like, you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you have to leave it on the floor, like a Starbucks cup. I'm like, why? Like, oh well, it creates more jobs.
Wow.
So yeah, that country is all like.
It's
different. It's a lot of short-term thinking there, Yeah, in the short term that creates more jobs. In the long term, you're gonna fuck up the whole world.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, and leave the bats alone too. Don't be annoying and loud, okay? Because this is a very important meeting.
We're gonna talk about Fight Island. I think
who do we got on the show today?
We got Greg Wilson, who's a really funny comic, loud, short, fat, obnoxious, but really funny. I love him. And then this guy Tyler Smith, who I coach wrestling with. He was an amateur fighter. He also is a Marine and super nice guy. Now he's a big stoner. And then we have Max Griffin calling in. Max Payne Griffin. Yeah.
Why do I know him?
Max Griffin he beat Mike Perry. He lost his last fight against Cowboy Oliveira, but it was a real close fight. He's been around. He's just like he's been like a kind of a fringe guy. Like he's right there, but he always like he just comes short. But like it's always a split decision loss to like Thiago Alves, and you're just like it was like right there. But you could easily argue that he won every fight that he lost. It's just like it's a frustrating thing. Which we're gonna talk about that because he's like right there. You know, that's got to be. He's the worst because I always bet on him because I always bet on the guys I like, and I'm always like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Did you think? I was hoping that they would have pulled it off. The Ferguson versus Gaethje Fight Island card.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Let's talk about it then. That way I can talk about it twice and bore me to death talking about things twice. Bro, quiet. I'm on an important meeting.
We had Phil Baroni on recently.
Oh, how'd that go?
He's doing all right. He's living in Albuquerque, but he thinks everyone has SARS. He didn't even know it was coronavirus. He's like, what is this, freaking SARS right now? We're like, no, it's coronavirus.
That guy's a mess. Love that guy. He's hilarious. I love talking to that guy. He's funny, dude.
He's unintentionally the fun. He's like,
yeah.
I mean, he knows he's funny because people are laughing at him, but
he ain't trying to.
He's kind of trying to like. I think he knows he's onto something, you know. And then we had Don Fry on with Jessica Penny, who like Don Fry like.
They talk about his wife. They talk about his wife at all.
No, they're divorced.
Oh, she left him.
Yeah, it like killed him. But I think the Me Too movement skipped over Don Fry because he's like, we had his girl on, this pretty fighter, Jessica Penny. He's like, hey, you want to sit on my mustache, go for a ride? It's like,
yeah, he's a dude. He helped put Pride on the map.
Yeah.
Jeez, he had some good fights over there at Pride too, man. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I remember I just watched an Instagram thing that Nick Maynard reposted. It was Nogueira versus Bob Sapp.
Oh wow.
I was there for that one. Literally, I was there in the crowd watching it.
You were in Japan?
I was in Japan. Yeah, I went out there with Hoist. Hoist fought Yoshida. Had a fight with the gi on. Remember that?
I remember. Didn't all Hoist's fights have the gi on pretty much for the first?
Well, they both did. They both agreed to fight in the gi.
Oh wow.
And it was controversial because it's called an Ezekiel choke, where you grab the sleeve of your gi and wrap around the neck and start, you make a choke that way. He caught Hoist in that, but didn't have it on. He was just attempting it and looked up to the ref and played the ref and said that he was out because Hoist, when he gets caught in a position or whatever, he don't struggle to get out. He'll just lay there and wait for you to go ahead and be like, what's he doing? He's not doing anything. Now I'm going to do something. And then he gets away. So that's what he was doing. He was just sitting there waiting for him to stop. And the referee called it.
Oh, wow.
Waved it off. Yeah. Waved it. Done, waves it. It's like, done, he's done. And Hoist gets up and is like, what is going on? So, yeah, that happened.
Did they restart it or that was the end of the fight?
No, that was the end of the fight. The ref waved it off. And that's it. It's over.
Wow. That was by the way, that was Hector Lombard's calling me. He's a huge Trump supporter, Hector. And he wants to debate an MMA fighter on politics. So we think this is going to go really very entertaining for the fans.
Oh, joy.
It's going to be funny. By the way, this is Tyler Smith. We got the great Mike Pyle on today with us.
What's up, Mike?
What's happening?
I'm like you, man. I'm still sitting in bed.
I was telling him that you're a Marine and an amateur fighter and a wrestling coach and a pothead. So
amateur part I noticed. I didn't see the rest.
I'm all of those things.
Hold on, I gotta stop my vacuum cleaner from vacuuming.
You got DJ Roomba going?
Wife, stop vacuuming. No, it was the wife.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
No, I'm kidding. That's one of those. But I got pillows and stuff. The kids made a fort, and now it can't get through the.
No, the vacuum cleaner can't clean because the kids' pillow forts in
there.
there?
Yeah, pillows everywhere, so I just shut it off.
That's not the worst thing in the world.
Nah, it's not the worst thing.
So how's the quarantine treating you? I'm sure.
It's good, dude. I just jump in the backyard, I'll throw some weights around,
Hell yeah.
pet my turtle and shit.
You got turtles?
I got a tortoise, actually.
One tortoise?
Exact, yes, one tortoise.
That's fucking awesome. Don't those things live till like 100 years old?
Yeah.
Or they can?
I don't know if you can. Can you see him in there? Can you see him at all?
I think I can. Yeah, I think I see him. He's moving a little bit, right? Moving his leg.
Yeah, he moved a little bit.
That's fucking awesome. I always wanted a tortoise. When I was a kid, I always wanted a tortoise, and now I'm like, I got nowhere to put him. And
yeah, he came. The neighbors down the street had a couple of tortoises that they had for some years, and they bred. And then these little $50 size turtles were popping up in people's yards everywhere because they hatched, So I kept one.
How big is it going to get?
You want to hear a crazy story about something like not similar but kind of similar? When my dad was managing Alice Cooper, right? They used to carry a snake with them, a huge like a boa, a huge snake, and and they would put it because that was like in the middle of the show. Alice would take out a snake and start playing with it, so they would keep it in the hotel bathtub wherever they stayed at. So one day they wake up and this freaking snake's missing.
Oh no!
Holy shit! What happened to Alice? What happened to our snake? But they were late for a plane. They had to catch a plane. They were on tour. They just left. What did they do? Say, hey guys, by the way, our snake is in your hotel somewhere. So they just bounced.
Oh my God.
No way.
Then like a month later, they're reading like the newspaper, and the hotel they were at, this country singer named Charlie Pride was taking a dump, and the snake came up through the toilet.
What?
Yeah, the guy went to wipe his ass, and then all of a sudden finds a fucking snake up there. I mean,
holy shit, dude.
I mean, how much would that, like, you'd never be able to take a shit again in your life, right? I mean, that
I couldn't wait to go take a shit again to see something like that.
Yeah, but not everyone's like Pyle.
I mean, I would be like, I wish I had diarrhea right now.
Oh my God, that's
a hell of a story.
I wish I had diarrhea. That's so.
Hey, so how does this Zoom work? Whenever if it picks up your voice, then it goes to your device and it'll show you, and because it keeps flipping back and forth. You
can't do that, but there's a setting up there that where you could see everybody at once in your top right, where it says speaker view. You could see everybody, and then you could see all four of us, because the way that you have it now, Mike, it like is annoying because you only see the person talking. But there's another setting top right where you could see all four of us. So it looks like we're playing. Yeah.
Oh, gallery view. Yeah.
Like a Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, gallery view is better.
Shit, yeah. I didn't even know that.
Really?
I've been using the stupid speaker view the whole time. Yeah.
Oh no, it's great. So you can see how people are reacting to what you're saying.
Hi, Greg.
Oh, cool.
Hey, what's up, Tyler? What's going on, man?
Ready and action. What's up, people?
Yeah, this guy.
Welcome to the brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We have Mike Pyle with us. Mike Pyle is the legend Mike Pyle. We have the Greg Romero Wilson. I'm putting them all together.
So many names. I have so many names.
And then we got Tyler Smith with us, the Marine, the fighter, the pothead, the wrestling coach.
I love that that's part of it now.
Yeah.
Marine, former fighter, jiu-jitsu brown belt, stoner.
Hey, that's his way of saying, but he's still cool.
Yeah, I'm still cool.
I don't know. I think all those things are cool. We're going to have a great show. We also have Max Payne Griffin joining us in about a half an hour. So, yeah, it's going to be a great show. I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, do not leave your house during this pandemic. Marijuana is legal in California. Get it delivered right to you, okay? Don't leave your house. When you get it, you might want to wash it off or disinfect it or whatever you do with your other stuff, okay?
Read down with Clorox.
But get it. Go to speedweed.com. Go to @speedweed. A couple of things. Mike Pyle. So let me talk to you for a second. I know you're from Tennessee. You're a home of like what, 100 people? Not a home, a town of 100 people. How are you holding up during this pandemic?
Oh, dude, man, I'm going nuts. I need to do something. I got, I like to be outside. I like to go fish. I like, I'm going crazy. I want it to be over with.
Yeah. And Greg, how are you doing?
Can I tell you? I mean, listen, I'm proud of myself. It's noon, and I'm not drunk. So for me, this is an accomplishment. Can I tell you the bar for the accomplishment of waiting to get drunk keeps. First it was 5 o'clock. I was like, if I just wait till 5, then it became 3:30, and now it's noon. If I can at least make it to noon without getting drunk, I'm very proud of myself.
Then the rest.
Now, do you start drinking at noon and then take a nap, or like is it just?
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's
there's
noon to 4, and then the sleep
noon
cycle, and then drunk from noon to 4 again.
The noon drunk leads to a late lunch, which leads to a late afternoon nap, which then leads to an early evening drunk, and then dinner and online poker, and then I'm out. That's the schedule.
So, wow. So cocaine's out though. Cocaine's out.
I don't trust it. I think if I'm going down, not going down on cocaine. That's not how I'm going to get it.
I don't trust
you
it.
Coke alone in a quarantine, man. That's just sad.
You don't have to do it alone. You can do Coke via Zoom, by the way.
I'm down.
I know because I've seen it done. I've been involved in Coke Zoom parties, where I did the very last of my pre-COVID Coke.
Oh, that's crazy.
Now, Mike, I was gonna say, like, so as a comic, I'm sure, man, it's crazy because no matter how bad my day goes during the day, how many times I get rejected by Hollywood or auditions or whatever else, stand-up comedy is like the best. It's like I could end with making people laugh. The more you do it, the better you get. People are crying. I'm like, I'm fulfilled. I can go to sleep. This pandemic took all that away.
Yeah.
So it's just every day is like, it just ends with the day's over. Like I don't have, and you just like, it's like all your superpowers are gone. And then I realized that like comedy is my therapy. Is that what happened a little bit when you stopped fighting?
No, because the thing is the fighting that just happens for that night, right? So, and that would always, come around every 3 months, every 4 months, something like that. It's the training and it's the gym. That's what still can keep me sane, because I still get to the gym and smack up all the young boys when they try to get smart with me, choke them out and send them on their way.
I love that.
So I can still get that release. I can still get in there and, and be like, what I'm going to do today? Today I'm going to work on just an arm lock, or today I'll just work on just defending the choke and make, I can make up scenarios for myself and still go in and get that done. But right now I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even get to the gym. But, after the fighting, to answer your question, the short or the long is the competition part I miss, but it's the everyday gym thing is always there for me still. So I didn't get that empty feeling, other than I don't fight anymore. That's my identity. That's what I've always been identified as. And now I don't do it anymore. It's really strange. So
no,
yeah,
I hear you.
What's
I
that
actually
transition like?
I was missing it so much that like I did a Zoom show Saturday night.
how'd that go?
Well, so I got like, I'm like, okay, all right, my kid just fell. That's pretty much how it like went right there. So yeah, that's exactly how the show went. I people started crying. No, it was. So I did a Zoom. I'm sitting on a chair, and she tried to climb up and just fell. So it kind of happened. So
That's what happens with kids.
Video. We've
It's
seen
fun.
it all.
So I did a Zoom show, and so immediately we got hacked, right? Which it never happens during a comedy show. Like you would think, like, okay, we got 100 people that want to get together and hear jokes. People be happy. People can't have that. And I wasn't unfamiliar. So right away, someone just starts yelling the N-word, add me on Instagram. All of a sudden, the whole screen becomes porn.
Wow.
Somebody's drawing dicks, and I'm just like, thank God somebody knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, Adam, make me the monitor. So I'm like, okay. I have a friend of mine, and he muted everybody. And then we started the show. And the show went well. But at first, I'm like, I'm under attack. Like, I was like, this is awful. As far as the actual show went, It's a little weird because we get to mute people because like this, if someone just goes like that or that, it like creates sound, even if they're not trying to heckle or be a dick. So we muted everybody at first, and then when I decided if I knew them and they were good enough listeners, I would unmute them with like telling them, hey, watch the sound, like whatever. So you kind of need somebody working it that knows what they're doing. But I'll tell you, man, it felt great to get a laugh. It felt like it was like the heroin. It wasn't real heroin, real marijuana. It was like synthetic marijuana, you know. But it felt like I felt complete again. I'm not gonna lie. And it was a bunch of new jokes that I wrote. That like that's the thing with comedy is that you get that immediate feedback. Like if you're a screenwriter, or you're an actor, or whatever, you can make the greatest thing ever. But by the time it comes out, either people forgot about it, or the editor fucked it up, or they got canceled, or whatever. You know, comedy is a joke, and 3 seconds later, you get a response, which is the best.
Not bad.
So,
not a bad way to live.
Greg, you?
Hey, listen, that's the thing. I mean, I was waiting to do a 1 hour special, right? And I was just at the point where I was like, I need to do this material. I need to release this special myself. Go ahead and go the DIY. I'd almost given into it. And now it's like, does anyone give a shit about any of this now after this event? We're going to go back out there. No one's going to want to talk about cell phones. Nobody's going to walk, you know, like all these other school shootings and, you know, it just doesn't matter. You know, I think it's all going to seem so superfluous now. You know, it's almost like I have to start over again and build a whole new hour.
Yes, but isn't it kind of cool, though, in some ways, on the other hand, that some of these issues, like, I identify as a he, him, or she, her, like, some of the things that were driving everyone crazy, people are just like, I don't want to hear anymore. And like,
they don't exist?
I mean, not that particular, because that is important to a lot of people, but I'm saying the things that just seem like they're like kind of trivial versus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, these were things that were important pre-COVID. That now are it's like, why are we even talking about this now?
Yeah, now
that the world is completely changed.
Real problems, and we actually have
real life and
We're not
problems
making
that we all share. Yeah.
Yeah, but good comics like yourselves will find light and find comedy and all this new shit. You'll figure something out. It'll spark something in you. It's got to. You guys have.
Oh no, without question. Without question, this is definitely
It's gonna be nasty, isn't it?
If I do it, it probably is. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about all guys. You know, the nasty side of all this. You know, the porn side. I mean, geez, do you imagine if they had turned off the porn during this?
Oh my God.
There'd be riots in the streets right now.
There'd be.
There would. People would be walking. Yeah,
right.
Guys would just be on their porch jacking off. I mean,
your flip-flops will get stuck to the pavement. You'll walk right out of them.
Exactly. It'll be like walking on blue paper everywhere. From dudes just dropping loads.
Just everywhere.
You know?
You'll walk outside, I think it's like snowing, but it's some guy in his fucking terrace.
It's at an all-time high.
Milky rain. Thank God. And I've seen more than a few people post about them thinking they've reached the end of porn. It's Jesus Christ, your dick must look like hamburger meat.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The end of porn is just like probably like some kind of pastor shaking his head, just like or just a disappointed rabbi, just like, come on, man.
Yeah, like you did it. I hope you're proud of yourself. Your dick's all inflamed.
There's no being proud of yourself after that. You're not proud of yourself.
No,
it's 100% shame, but you did it.
Yeah, immediate shame.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, that's the thing. It is on a certain level, though. It is still an accomplishment.
It is.
Oh, yeah, but you don't have to.
When you got all
You're not always proud of your
in the next room, you're hearing people talking in the next room. You're still trying. You still get it done. Yeah, man, that's an accomplishment.
It is.
Speed rounds.
Now, Pyle, so I was telling you before, so what happened was Khabib and Tony, they were like that fight got canceled, and they were going to do Ferguson versus Gaethje, and couldn't find a spot. So we're talking about maybe either Tachi Palace, because it's Indian reservation.
Sure.
Not many regulations there, I guess.
Yeah.
Or Dana White said he was building Fight Island, which is an island.
Yeah, man. Fight Island.
Deep lane.
which is an island.
I'm into Fight Island.
It's an island.
It's more
fighting.
like deplate. Pass deplate.
Now, so yeah, they're gonna have Fight Island, and the fighters were down to do it. Like people were excited about like the fact of like boats bringing fighters over
Sure.
the island. But then
Like
what happened
Bulldog.
was Gavin Newsom, I think it was, and because the UFC is now part owned by Disney, and they were like, no, we can't do it. Yeah, like I guess when
ESPN, you know, obviously who broadcasts most of their fights, they're owned by Disney. And so that relationship became paramount to saying no.
Cool.
Well, yeah, because freaking Gavin Newsom called the head of Disney and was like, look, put a leash on your boy. And
that's what they did.
Like, what are they going to do? Like, fuck you, governor of California. Like, okay, yes, sir.
No, I have two thoughts on this. One of my thoughts is that, like, look, these are all adults that know what they're getting into. Just becoming fighters in general, you guys are taking the risk of brain damage and everything else when you go in there. And if guys want to do it, I mean, these are the healthiest people on the planet, these athletes, you would think, let them do it. You know, on the other hand, what if they said they might take away ambulance space and hospital space, people that have corona, and now all of a sudden the guy's going in there because he's got a fucked up eye or something, and now the person with corona can't get the treatment they want, as well as if something bad happened and someone tested positive, now all of a sudden it's great, this is what you guys did. Pyle, what are your thoughts?
I mean, let us fight, man. Let us fight.
There it is.
Just let us fight. Let us fight. What's the worst that's going to happen? You got one guy that went in because his eyes cracked, and you got one person with corona. They're going to die anyway. Let the guy get his eye fixed. Jesus.
And what's the chances of that even happening? You know.
And what chances that? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's, you know,
That
all
one guy.
All jokes aside, look, do it.
So Max Payne Griffin, is there a setting that you could put the video on? Because we can't see.
I see that little guy up there. I don't know what the fuck's going on right there.
Yeah, just press that little guy.
Press that little guy.
Exactly. The little man in the canoe. You want to press him?
Oh, there he is. Max Payne Griffin. You're here with Mike Pyle, Greg Wilson, Tyler Smith. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. You had an awesome fight last time. I thought you won that fight against Cowboy Oliveira.
Some people think I did, you know?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Now, it was a fight where you hurt the guy in the beginning. You had him hurt, and then you chose to go to the ground. Looking back, you think that might have been a mistake?
No. I mean, it's not a mistake. You know, I worked my game plan, but in the second round, the cut really affected me, man. I'm not going to make any excuses, but when they asked me if I was okay, it was like I was for sure okay and was going to fight, but it was like a glassy, like a misty window already, you know?
Oof.
And you know, and after then, it was just, you know, distance was hard for me to do. I didn't really have, like, depth perception. So it was hard to get in, and
that's right.
You know, then it got real bloody. Shit was burning my eyes. I couldn't see shit. Close fight, man.
Hell, that ever happened to you?
What's that?
That ever happened to you in a fight?
I'd gotten poked in the eye and got, you know, cloudy, and had a little bit of, you know, depth perception was off and couldn't really, you know, find my rhythm with my hands. So I grappled, you know?
Yeah.
I tried to just get in where I could.
It's almost
better. You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I gotta say, Max, in that third round, man, you were down. I know. Well, it looked like it was even, and the guy was on top of you, and there was about 2 minutes left, and they were like, the guy was, I think Rogan or someone was like, listen, if Max wants to win, he's got to do something, and it was like a movie. Something came into you, you just flipped the guy and put him on his head, and I was going crazy. Now
that's a bad position to be in. Like that topside leg ride, that wrist control, it's bad. So you can't just burst out of it. You kind of gotta wait, and you know, it could have got real bad. It was close to not getting out of that. You know what I mean?
But did you have that voice in your head that, like, gotta do something, man. Gotta get out of here.
I knew I had to do something, and that was the moment. Crazy fight, man. At that point, when I was on my back, I couldn't see anything. My blood was like filled my eyes, like my eye sockets. And when I looked, it looked like a yellow kaleidoscope. So that last 2 minutes, I couldn't. I had zero.
Man.
I was trying to blink. I've never had blood like that. Like trying to blink, it's like sticky. It's hard to explain. It's like real oily. It doesn't go away though. You know, I'm trying to blink my fucking balls off. You know, you just.
Now,
fun fight though.
Pyle,
Fun fight.
I was looking at your career, man. Like, so you started out, you built a shack in your backyard.
No, that existed already. That already existed. That was about the dimensions of it was 13 feet by 15. I had a lot of makeshift carpets and old carpet padding, and then I put a tarp over the top of that, a mat.
And you were like, I want to be a fighter, right? And then Then you were putting in Gracie VHS tapes.
No, just anything that I could at the time. This is 95. This is 1995, by the way.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I'm watching.
OG.
I'm watching. Step by step. Watching step by step how to grapple. I think it was Marcos. What was that guy? What was that guy's name that fought in UFC? That kept chopping that guy's legs back.
Marcos Hua?
Yes. Yep. So I got one of his videotapes on how to foot lock, leg lock, and arm lock and choke. I got it out of Black Belt magazine. Had it,
Nice.
Awesome. Learning how to do things on a grappling dummy, and also my cousin dummy. He would come over, and then we'd chief it up, and then get out there and start rolling around and try to figure it out. And that's basically
your first fight is up against, you go there and you're fighting Rampage Jackson. Your first fight.
That's Rampage Jackson's first fight, not mine.
Oh, that was okay. Because on your thing,
I got about that's the way it is on Sheer Dog.
Yeah.
All the records, that he and that we were each other's first fight, but I was his first fight, and I had several other fights.
Now he misses weight by 25 pounds.
No. The deal was the guy called me who is now a judge and part of the commission in here in Vegas. Anyway, so this is on Bill Street. He calls me and says, "Yeah, man, your guy's out. You're out." "Oh man, I want to fight." He goes, "Well, we don't have any." I said, "You don't have anybody at all." The Rampage will do it. I said, "All right, let's do it." Because I knew who Rampage was, because we knew each other. We knew each other through the grappling circuit, and he used to pick people up and slam them with his he used to do that way back in the day. And I said, "Yeah, let's do that." And I'm 170 pounds walking around, 200 and 220, or whatever. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it. I don't care." So I did it. Stop, son.
And then during the fight, he throws you out of the ring.
He's got him in a rear naked choke.
Yeah. He throws me out of the ring a couple of times, actually.
Now, when you threw out of the ring, did you think to yourself, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
Kinda. But at the same time, I'm like, let me get after him. I'm going to get him, man, because there's a couple of times I got close to getting an arm lock. You know what I mean? There was a couple of times where if I just get a couple more chances and he thinks that he's going to be able to slam me every one of them, I bet you I can land it. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm just going to be doing it until I can't.
This kid's going to be a champ.
So yeah. But what I did want to do, I wanted to rest a bit. We went 3 rounds, and then as he was throwing me out, my corner start pushing me back in. This is in a ring, by the way, not a cage. So I'm kind of like, oh my God, let me get some air. Let me breathe a little bit. Let's just play this. Let's play it out a little bit. And let me breathe. But they weren't. They just shoving me back in, and we get in there and get back after it again.
Oh my God.
Good time.
Your next fight's against John Fitch.
Yeah.
Which you sub John Fitch, but Fitch must have been easy compared to Rampage. If you fight Rampage, you're right?
I fought Rampage for 3 rounds. He was, before that, I'd won every one of my fights in the first round with minutes. And then I ran into this beast. And then that's when I also said to myself, like, man, I'm flopping to the ground to get to the ground because I can't get him to the ground. You know, I can't wrestle him because he was a good wrestler and he's strong as hell. So that's also when I said, I got to learn how to wrestle. Like, I can't just flop to my back and do jiu-jitsu with everybody because I can't get everybody down. You know, I want to get to the ground, but everyone else, I took them down, but I couldn't even get close. Couldn't even get close to taking this guy down. So that was a good thing for me in my, you know, my career. Just, you know, it opened my eyes like, man, I need to wrestle. I need to learn to wrestle. That's, you know, right. Wrestling a lot more. And I beat John in the first round with, I think, in like hardly 2 minutes. Took him down, took his back and choked him.
Max, I read that you're the king of Sacramento.
Yes, sir.
How does that happen? How does one become the king of Sacramento?
Man, I've, you know, fought out here my whole life. And it really, we had this fight or organization, West Coast Fighting Championship, and this guy, David Mitchell, was at a Team Alpha Male.
I know David.
Yeah. David Bulletproof Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitch.
Yeah. Wild dude, man. Wild dude.
I always remember when we were trained, I think we trained just a few times, but boy, his armpits, woo, that boy could smell out the room.
I believe it. So I was a West Coast Fighting champion for a few years, and then I head down to Tachi and did that. And at the same time, David Mitchell pops up on the scene. I guess he got cut by the UFC and came up, and he's like, "Oh, nice to meet you. You know, we're gonna go against each other." At that point, I didn't know who he was, but then he was just talking shit for about 3 years. We were going back and forth, or, you know, he was going at me, but I was in Tachi. You know, he was saying I was dodging him. But when he got out the UFC, he waxed like 8 full straight. So he was the man. He was at a Team Alpha Male too. And at this point, they were like our rival gym. So locally, I fought a few Team Alpha Male guys. So it was huge. The whole city was there. This fight finally happened, sold out event. There was like media production, all this stuff. But it was wild. But if you look it up, we finally fight, knock him out in like 40 seconds, drop him like 3 times in the fight. There's riots in the crowd. It was crazy. It was sack on sack, but it was bad because Team Alpha Male had a huge crew, and we had, history in the making. But that was the moment that that's the fight that got me signed.
Now you made peace with Team Alpha Male, your last camp. You actually did your camp at Team Alpha Male.
Yeah, we're good. We weren't even at war. It was just that we were fighting. I was fighting their best guy. They wanted me to lose. Naturally, there's going to be some kind of problem,
When you came with the Lollipop Guild showed up and they all was it like a?
It's been squashed for years, man. It's been squashed for years, but
let Adam bring it back to life. He will.
I would say this has got to be the hardest quarantine for Tyler Smith is he's like a guy waiting for the end of the world anyway. He's a Marine that is preparing this. But Greg Wilson has the worst ADD ever. And fucking Pyle, you were just getting going with your stunts. You were booking left and right and left and right. Now, I know a lot of fighters out there watch the show. And a lot of people want to go into stunts after fighting. And you're successfully making it as a stunt guy. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, that's as some of you may know that Hollywood it's a lucrative business. If you can get in, if you got your hair.
Look at that John Cougar Mellencamp. That's awesome.
Blood on the scarecrow. Blood on the
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's easy money, and sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you get your ass kicked, or you get thrown through a wall, or got to go through some plate glass window and you get a little cut up. But other than that, a lot of times it's just like a lot of times you'll see, like if Adam was the lead character and he's the tough guy and he's always got some goons that are standing behind him and never say anything and they just shoot people, sometimes that's considered a stunt too. They'll hire stunt guys to just what I mean? So you don't have to necessarily flip cars over and drive fast, but if they call on you to do so, then you either can do it or you can, or do a high fall or something like that. But it's fun, man.
And you're making more money than everybody else on set except for the freaking stars.
Yeah. You're the pay scale, just
it's
all the same. A fair shake across the board, unless you're within negotiating, position, which I'm not.
Right.
You were also in Universal Soldier 3.
Yeah, I starred in that. I've done some acting as well, and I do some here and there. That was fun. That was Universal Soldiers 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun. So that was fun. I didn't do any stunts in that, just a bunch of acting. I mean, and I did a lot of, and again, you do a lot of fight scenes. So a lot of times I'll double an actor. And if there's, a big fight scene, just do the fight scene and don't ever show your face and kind of just,
shoot around it.
Are you still training at all, Max, right now?
Yeah, I'm doing what I can, man. I know there are some people training on the low and all this shit, but I'm not with it. I was kind of not surprised by all this, but when I fought in Vegas, it was the kind of last weekend of everything.
Yeah,
that fight might be in the last live fight, and who knows?
Yeah,
I got shit for going to the fight because we went, and I got shit for my girlfriend. She's like, I can't believe you're gonna go to Vegas during all this, and I was like, I had this plan for months. Like, the fighters are fighting, I just have to sit in the stands and drink. So it's not,
Yeah. So with the timing was weird. So I fought. I usually take about a week, 2 weeks off after a fight just to not do shit and do what I want. And so when after that happened, I mean, right when I got back, they started a lockdown, started getting serious. So once I was ready to train again, like everywhere was getting closed down. So it's been an interesting thing. I've been doing stuff on my own, hitting the bag, running around, doing what I can, but it's not the same.
Now,
but
I read you're a black belt in Bok Fu.
That was a long time ago.
What the hell is
Bok Fu?
It's a chicken dish. It comes with like a rice noodle. Isn't that right? It's in a peanut sauce. It's a peanut sauce.
No, it's a mix. No, it's a hybrid of martial arts like kung fu, karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu. It's a few different things, but it's a hybrid because not everything works. Like taekwondo, they can't punch for shit. It's all kicks. So we got a lot of kicks from taekwondo, a lot of the movement from kung fu, and so I did that when I was younger. Have a black belt in that. So it's kind of like an MMA of martial arts, kind of, because we kind of did a lot of different stuff in there.
Well, dude, Mike Pyle was like, "Hey, man, me and Pyle have been friends forever." He's like, "Hey, I want to give you do you want to train together?" And I go to Vegas. I'm like, "Absolutely, right?" So we do mitts, and I'm having a blast. Then he's like, "All right, tomorrow, same time." I'm not gonna say no to Mike Pyle training me, but then he got committed to it. He's like, "All right, Thursday you have your press conference," and then he was like, "Friday we're gonna weigh in." I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But because it's Pyle, I'm not gonna say no. I'm like, all right,
you
I'll
have
be there. And I'm there a week doing comedy. Now I can't move by like Friday. I'm like, I hope he gets work. I'm calling like casting people to book him or something, you know? And he's like, Saturday we're sparring, right? So like I'm sparring, but he's not. I could tell, you know, Mike, he's a professional, and I'm like, we do like 9 rounds. I'm fucking out. Then I turn around and Roxanne Modafferi is in the cage, and he's like, time to grapple her, time to fight her. I'm just like, you got to be and everyone has their cameras out. So
Did she roll you up or what? She roll you up?
I just took her down and held her.
Ground.
I just took her down. I was fighting for my life there, dude.
Took her down and sat in side control.
Yeah. And then Mike's like, stand him up, action. It was.
Don't try to do you out there, man.
Yeah.
Because once they get those cameras out.
I want him to have a good time. Put him in the spotlight real quick.
That was the best time I've had in a long time. But I showed my wife. I'm like, hey, I had a sparring match today. She's like, who? And I show her Roxanne Modafferi's face. And she was like, this is who you're sparring against? I'm like, dude, you don't understand. She's tough.
This is who I'm losing it to.
It's Modafferi, by the way.
By the way, Modafferi, who I think you and John Wood are the most underrated coaches, because this girl was on a 6-fight losing streak. On The Ultimate Fighter, it looked like she should retire in some of her fights. You're just like, she's getting the shit beaten out of her. You guys took her, and she's won, 7 out of her last 8?
Yeah, she's
murdering people.
Great martial artist.
She really is. There was a switch at some point, maybe like 3 or 4 fights ago, maybe 3 fights ago, where she like really understood that, oh, I can beat the shit out of these girls on the ground, and there's nothing they can do. She's Khabibing people.
Yeah.
It's like seeing Roxy just dominate is so cool. Like,
well,
another thing right now.
Another thing with her,
you know,
so unexpected.
Yeah. Well, another thing one thing she never really did was do strength and conditioning. Right. So she
either. Weakest part of my game, bro. Weakest part of my game.
But so dude, she started getting stronger. So she started doing that. She started doing, all the explosive things and it, the hard workouts and picking heavy weight off the floor and moving it around. You know what I mean? Just the, good hard work.
When she started, she was really like martial artist who was
just,
I'm going to train martial arts and then go fight. Like,
yeah.
What a badass.
What I like about you, though, is that because I'll see you in the gym and you don't poach any fighters. Like, you got all these badasses and you can make them better because you're a great trainer. But I'll be like, hey, man, what do you think of that person? They're like, yeah, I'm like, what? Are you going to work with them? I'm like, well, if they want, you wait for everyone to come to you.
Well, it's not that. It's also, and Max will know, when you're on, when you're at Max's level of fighting right now, you need some attention. You need a coach. You need a coach that understands you. You need a coach that's going to be there for you because you can't do it alone.
No way.
You can't do it alone. You got to have a good set of eyes with you and somebody that cares about you. And man, that's a lot of work on a coach. The more guys you have, the more of you have to give to them. And
the more you take away from others, and
yeah.
Like I don't like when I have fights, I coach a little bit, but I don't like to coach when I have fights because I can't put that attention and do how I want to do it. You know what I mean? Because you have to be selfish.
You can't have the guy. You know what I mean?
You can't.
A little bit. You got to.
I'd rather not even do it.
Exactly. So back to that, Adam, is I don't want to overextend myself as well. Because I know what they need and what it's going to take, and I'm busy with the stunts. I'm busy being a dad, and I help. I help where I can, and I don't insert myself into their training unless. And then a lot of times they do come to me and say, hey, can you mind helping? And then I will. You know what I mean? I just know that. When I get into something, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get my all, and I'm going to try to make you the baddest ass, girl or dude that you possibly can be. And it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of dedication.
How hard is it for you to negotiate price? Like, because you're like, hey, I'll work with you, but you got to give me, what is it, 10% or 15%? But
Well, that's another thing I don't do. I just say, look, I'll help you. I can't go travel with you. You know, I can help. I can hit some mitts with you. I can work some ground positions with you and just tighten some things up and help you tighten some things up that I see you kind of need a little help in, and or, you know, ask them what it is. But I just say, look, this is how much it is an hour. We've been working together for an hour, and this is how much it is.
Now, Greg, I know you coach comedy. You're a great comedy coach. How invested do you get into your students?
It depends. I mean, some of them I work with a longer time than others. You know, usually they just kind of sign, you know, my regular, you know, I have sessions, these cycles, and it takes about 6 weeks. And over that 6 weeks, I mean, we get to know each other really fucking well. And it's a lot of really trying to bring out the true material in them. So during that time, very invested. But then after that time, there's a lot of them that like refer to me as their mentor or something like that. And I'm kind of like, go live your life, man. I changed you. I'm done with you. I got to go be a comedian now. The class is done, you know? So a lot of times, usually once the class is over, I kind of just cut them loose. I
know that when you were single, a lot of them would hit on you. Did you ever hook up with any of your students or no?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That was because, I mean, these aren't kids. These are adults, you know? It's not like, you know, it's not like I'm a high school teacher. I mean, one of them was, this, you know, a divorcee. I think she was probably like, you know, late 30s, super hot. And she tried to bang me like in the showroom right after the workshop.
And did you let her?
He tried.
Well, we were well on our way until like Jack Sr. came back, and then had to shut it down.
But did anyone ever try to pay you in blowjobs or?
There was one time where I felt like a girl was really hinting about it. She was like, oh, because she wanted some private coaching. So I'm at her place. We're going over her material. She's like, you know, it was like $100 or something. And she was like, well, I'm kind of like, she was kind of like trying to like lead up to it. But at the time I really needed $100. So I was like, I'm not gonna, but if she had full on said the words, I'll suck your dick, I probably would like, fine, just like, but she like just kind of sneaked around about it. And I just let her quietly just go get her wallet and fucking write me a check.
There's a girl who's a pretty big comic now. She's doing pretty well. Who's like, hey, look, I want to write together. And I'm like, all right. And then halfway through it, she's like, can I blow you? I'm not gonna say no. But then she like halfway through, she takes my dick out of her mouth and goes, this is my next comedy cover. I'll put it back in. And I was like, I'm like, you're going to make it. I'm like, you're going to make it.
I don't know if you want your dick to be her comedy cover. I don't know.
It's
not a good, you know, like, she's like, this dick is a joke.
No, I got to say, Max, you fought in Gladiator Challenge, right?
Yeah, the parking lots, parking lots of
outside when
casino.
You fight at
outside
at Saboba? Gladiator Challenge?
No, I haven't fought at Saboba. It was Red Hawk. That's in Placerville. I fought 3 times.
It did seem like they were taking good fighters against homeless people in that organization.
It wasn't like that when I was there.
Okay.
When I was there, it was actually pretty even. I mean, this was 10 years ago. Now they have the people who set up the cage. They let them fight real fighters.
Really?
What?
Terrible. It's horrendous. I can't stand it.
Hey, Adam, there's
I haven't been 5 or 6 years.
Buddy. You got a chance.
Hey, first of all,
we can get Adam a Gladiator Challenge.
They were in basketball shorts. They were in basketball shorts fighting, you know, fighting like this, fighting season pros with sponsors and all these things.
Oh, no.
Hey, 8 guys, 8-0 fighting a guy in some basketball shorts, no mouthpiece, straight up.
Dude, Alan Belcher was 15 years old and fought a grown man on the same card that everybody knows who Alan Belcher is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that dude, he was 15 years old, and he fought a guy in a pair of blue jean shorts, man. I was in a bar. The dude had on blue jean shorts and fighting his kid and we're not really thinking anything of it. It was like, man, there's some fights going on.
Yeah.
You know, I fought that night, and then so did he. And I was like, damn, he's 15 and a fight at 15. Wrecked that dude. He was a grown man too.
Yeah.
Wrecked him. It's
That's
crazy. Crazy days.
Now, I mean, Pyle, you fought in like Denmark, Russia, Lithuania, Japan. What were some of those places like?
Yeah, which one had the hottest ladies?
Oh, Denmark, baby. Ooh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
My Lord. And the thing that's good about that, because you had all, you know, you just had different cultures from all over the place that were there. So there was beautiful women that were all mixed, dark, little light, dark skin. Oh, man, it was nice. Oh, it was nice.
Well, dude, Pyle's wife would be like, Pyle's wife is beyond smoking hot. She could be like, she put Instagram, she could, if she wanted to, she'd be an Instagram model. I don't know how. I think it was his Make-A-Wish or something, but he did very good for himself. And so is Max. Is Max? You saw that same girl that you had at the
comedy? Yeah.
Very attractive lady.
Thank you, man. You give me grief every time I see you, man.
Yeah, of course. Man, of course.
That's all he ever asks about. Oh, who are you banging now? Oh, you're a pro fighter. You must be so many chicks. Dude, that's so cool.
I gotta live vicariously for you guys. What was it like? Listen. What was it like working with Will Smith and Tommy Lee on Men in Black 2?
It was cool. It was super cool. You know, when you have a couple gentlemen on set that are at that level, there's just a lot of respect and a lot of quietness and a lot of quiet time and watching and learning. You know what I mean? So we didn't really speak, so to speak. I didn't speak with. Actually, I did talk. I talked with Will a little bit. He actually one of Will Smith's writers. Do you know Mike Socio? Anyway, so I've known that guy for a long time. He's a writer. He wrote Kevin Can't Wait.
Oh yeah.
He writes for Kevin as well. And anyway, so he's always been longtime friends with Will. And Kevin Randleman, may he rest in peace. Kevin Randleman and I, we landed that job together. And so we went, and the day we were there to get our makeup on and all that, we sat in the chair. We were in Will Smith's trailer. Will comes in, and Mike had put him up to cracking jokes on us. So he came in kind of like, I don't know, kind of like he comes in and he's like, man, you know, they just hire anybody. They bring in MMA guys that don't know shit about anything on set and ruin movies and just going off. And Kevin Randleman and I are looking at each other like, what is happening? What's going on? And then, you know, of course, then he starts, and Mike comes in and makes big jokes and then all that. But super cool, super professional folks. I learned a lot just by, you know, being in the room and watching the guys work together and how they work together was.
What'd you do on that movie?
I played an alien. Yeah, I played an alien. So did Kevin. Kevin was an alien. We were part of what was.
I'll have to watch that.
We were Woo's. I don't know what the hell we were. We're just had all these prosthetics in. We had these big cauliflower ears. Oh wait, those were real.
Yeah.
But, you know,
they saved some money. Yeah.
Oh, those guys look like aliens.
It was fun stuff. You learn a lot when you get to learn a lot when you work with people at that level. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's crazy.
Hey, Max,
that would be crazy.
Max, I feel like a lot of people look at you and tell you look like somebody. Like you look like you could look like 3 different dudes.
Like Drake?
Who do people tell you look like?
Drake.
Drake is the one that comes to my mind too, is Drake, yeah.
I've heard Drake. I've heard that Michael B. Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I think Drake.
John Mayer.
Used to be
John Mayer, shut up.
John Mayer.
When I was like a teenager, Nelly, you know.
Oh, no, you're better looking than Nelly.
Yeah. I don't know. I change it up, you know.
No, I just figured you had to hear that a lot. Because looking at you, you're like,
Yeah,
do people
about
come
you,
up
Brett?
to you and like mistaken you for one of those dudes and be like, oh my God, you're fucking Michael B. Jordan and shit. And you're like, no, I'm not, motherfucker.
It's happened, yeah.
You.
When I got a haircut, you know, Michael B. Jordan, you know, yeah, man. It's happened, bro.
Yeah, I figured.
It's crazy, Greg. I was saying like with Pyle, like when people sometimes find out we're comics, they just want to tell us jokes on every level. Like I was at a diner one time. I was New Year's Eve, and John Mayer was by himself. And someone's like, "Oh, you're John Mayer," and he's like, comes at our table and sits with me and like 5 comics. Finds out we're comics and tells us like 3 hours of the worst jokes you've ever heard. But it was like really nice about like it was like 10 years ago. He's it was a nice guy, and I'm like, what was it like banging Katy Perry? And he was like, of course, and he was like, a Jew and a lawyer walk into a bar. I'm just like, come on, man.
Well, he's tried stand-up. He's wanted to be a stand-up for a long time.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a stand-up comic.
So they put him up at the Cellar a couple of times.
I feel like stand-ups are the coolest people in a room until rock stars come or fighters, and then no one wants to talk to us all.
I do.
Yeah. So what do you think? Now, you're Fight Island. Are you excited about the prospect of Fight Island or no?
Something different. It's going to be like old school Mortal Kombat,
Yeah,
I like
Actually, like
I like it too. Fuck it. Let's do this.
I like that old movie with Bruce Lee when they all went to the island to go fight, man.
Yeah.
What are the chances it's Jeffrey Epstein's old island? It's available. It's available. It probably has plenty of seating.
Like the fucking ring car girls come out, they're like 12. We're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. That's so gross. Talk about a place you'd have to sterilize.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
I mean, where's it? I mean, it has to be big enough to, to get like the airplane strip, and I don't know, man. Where do you think it's gonna be? I mean, where are available islands?
They were saying Catalina, but the fighters don't catch corona. They catch chicken pox at like Epstein Island. The fighters now. I was saying
they catch mono. They catch mono.
Yeah.
Now, there has been some MMA news actually. So Chris Weidman, who I was a big Weidman fan, he lost 4 to 5.
That's my boy.
He was booked to fight Yoel Romero. It's like, are they giving this guy any easy fights?
Why? Didn't they already fight?
Yeah.
But isn't everything postponed, or you're saying this didn't happen?
Yeah, Romero cracked his head open.
I know, and he's gonna fight him again.
His dad came in the cage. It was bad.
I would say no if I were anyone.
Yeah.
Fighting Romero. That dude is
I don't know.
Man.
Now, both you guys fought Colby Covington early in your career. Did you think that Colby was going to be a champ one day?
I didn't. Not the way he fought me.
Oh, there you go.
Max?
I knew he was good because I've never been beat. You know what I mean? I was like, hold on. I don't like him, but I got to give him some respect for beating me. You know what I mean? Like, he beat me. You know what I mean?
His name is Max.
Yeah.
There you go.
That dude, there's something about Colby that, like, there's nothing special about him. But he's just so, like, whether it's his work rate or fight IQ or discipline, like, something about him that's just, it's odd.
He has really good wrestling.
He's
a great wrestler, but, like,
good control and good pace.
Right. Exactly. It's not like you look at him and you're like, wow, what an amazing fighter. But it's just like, fuck, you go in there with him and it's like, Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to do? Like, I feel like Usman's like that too. Like, it's just relentless. Like, they're both just relentless.
Yeah, that was a good fight they had.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a fight.
Hell yeah.
So John Jones and Stylebender are feuding today on Twitter.
Again?
Yeah. So
good. We need anything. Yes. Yeah.
So Stylebender posted, "Hey, pussy, John, are you still there?" And then John Jones posted a picture of Stylebender getting knocked out in his kickboxing fight that says, "Wasting all that good oxygen," because he has an oxygen tank. Someone wake this bitch up and change his tampon. So that's what he posted. Then he deleted it. And then Israel screenshotted it and said, "I've been knocked out once and never made that mistake again. How many times you been arrested? How many times you pissed hot? How many times you had your belt taken off of you? You never learn, do you?"
Just with all three. Just.
You
put him on that one, though.
He called him
on the island.
He called him a pulsing picto pussy.
Dude, this island idea is so bad. It's just going to erode. Okay, because think about all the fights that could happen in the stands that don't because there's police there. Because you might actually get in legal trouble. You erase that, and it's literally going to turn into, the Hunger Games.
But there's also no stand. There's no stands. There's going to be no fans if they do it on Fight Island. That's the whole point.
There'll be other fighters in the wings waiting to go.
Yeah, but nowadays we like to get paid to fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
What about the training guys, the guys that are there as your trainers?
Well, they might want to chunk some knuckles, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. This thing, and then it just snowballs. I'm just saying, keep the cameras rolling. That's all.
That's right. The cameras rolling.
Keep the cameras rolling.
Corners brawling in the back. I wonder if they're going to use the Fire Festival Island. Just use all that stuff.
I actually texted Dana. I said, "Can I get tickets to Fight Island?" Right when it got announced, and he
Really?
yeah, because how am I gonna get tickets to that? Like they're gonna let me just show up,
Did you just name drop?
What? No, I thought it was funny, and then he wrote back winky emoji.
Dude, we can get we can just rent a boat. We'll just rent a boat. We'll find out when it is, and we'll watch it from the boat.
What if the day TV Gold's already there? Like he's just waiting there. Yeah, no, I think Fight Island's a great idea. Actually, I don't know if they're gonna pull it off, but he says he's very close. Dana said, and Dana does not like taking no for an answer. He's just one of those.
And they don't lie ever either. So,
well,
yeah, never.
Yeah. Now, Pyle, what do you think your best win was?
My best win? It's when I beat those rape charges, bro.
Ooh. Ooh. Shit just got real.
Right.
I think, I don't know, man.
Are there any that you'd want back? I mean, you're not fighting anymore. But
I'd want them all back. I want them all back.
There's not one that's one or the other that's like, fuck, this is the one that a mental mistake or I didn't train or something. Just want all of them.
Yeah, man, there's just so many of them that I just want them all back. I'd love to have every single one of them back.
What about the Hathaway fight? Hathaway fight when you went to England and beat the.
I was gonna say, yeah. He was 14-0. I was on the main card. It was a big deal. He never been beaten before. I beat the brakes off of him
in England too.
In England, there in front of his folks. Yeah. That was a good win.
Sorry, man. Have you ever had a loss that like just you couldn't get out of your head? Like went to sleep and close your eyes and like immediately it starts replaying or like anything like that? Like any advice for young fighters who are going through a tough time, like trying to get over a loss or get through something?
And the best way just to get over the loss is to just pick your bottom lip up and get back to the damn gym. And hopefully you got a good, strong team with you that'll help pick you up and just can't cry about it, man. There's job's already hard enough. Job's already hard enough on our body, mentally and physically, to be in the gym every day and having dudes pounding on you, or you're trying to keep someone off of you. You know what I mean? It's just, you're always fighting. I mean, you're prepping for violence on a daily basis. You know what I mean? It's already hard enough. So if you got emotional baggage that you want to carry around with you all the time, but I lost it. Well, pick your lip up, man. Pick your bottom lip up and stop bitching and whining about it. And just the best thing is just to continue to get better. That's it. Just all you can do is just get back to the gym, figure out maybe what your mistake was or what your mental mistake might have been. Seek the mental preparation and help that you need. If your ego will let you go, you know what? I need some mental training.
Right.
Because we're all, man, I'm not gonna lie, my knees are knocking every time I'm going out there, right?
Oh yeah, it's fucking
terrible. It's very intimidating. So you always try to find different ways
that you
overcome all that.
Greg,
now that fight was in England. Let me ask you, the international travel, how big a factor is the international travel to the person that has to travel?
I almost feel like a lot of my losses that I did lose in UFC was here in town, for the most part. I always feel like I needed that travel. I needed that little extra getaway, get out of my house, not sleep in my own bed, and have that
uncomfortableness.
Yeah, all that uncomfortableness, because here I'm just too comfy. Now I show up, I'm like, yeah, I'm at the arena. Pow! Shit.
Right.
That's interesting. I would have thought it'd be the opposite of that. That's very interesting.
But Mike, you're also like a people pleaser. You're one of these guys that has to make sure everyone's having a good time, which is what I love about you. But that's got to be hard in Vegas because all the people that come to see you and everyone there, and you got to make sure everyone has tickets and everyone's.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, it just. No excuses. All those times I got beaten, you know what I mean? I don't know if it matters what soil I was on or whatever, but I just think maybe that I always did better traveling with,
for me as a comic, I hate doing comedy in front of people I know because I feel like
absolutely.
I feel like they've heard some of these jokes or they're judging me.
Yeah.
They're not having
They're thinking if you're talking about them specifically, like, was that me? Were you talking about me when you said that? It's like, no, I never think about you.
I got to do extra crowd work so that make sure everyone hears brand new shit. Like,
sure.
Even if they came before, it's just like people come, I'm going to see you tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, fuck, if it's the same show tomorrow, they're going to be disappointed. So for me, the road is so good because it's a fresh crowd.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And getting laid was always easier on the road, too.
Yeah. Really? Oh,
there's a time limit. They know you're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no maybe we'll get together. It's like this shit's happening or it's not.
Or Times Square. If you in New York, because I feel like women that are on vacation were like their bucket list was like go to New York, fuck a guy, have fun, and then you'd be the guy. So that was always a good time.
that was like having a net at a stream and the fish are just running and you're just catching them in the net, throwing them on the shores. That was Times Square.
Oh no! Whenever I would like have sex with a girl in Times Square back in the day, and then I'd like try to go to their place, it was a whole different experience. Now they're home, they're working. I'm in there. That's why everyone says, even as a comic, they're like, if you meet a girl at a comedy club, go right from the comedy club to the hotel. Don't go to the local bar because you lose your power because they see you on stage and then you see you back in your hotel.
You're magical.
Bar, you're like every asshole in there at that bar. Like all of a sudden your coolness went fucking.
And then there's 5 other dudes there that banged her last night.
Yeah, or they want to fight you, or they want to fight you because they want to know that they beat up the comic. Like I beat up the fucking guy. Do you ever have guys try to test you because you're a UFC fighter that were like, oh, I want to see if I could take him?
Nah, I think people are pretty smart now. When they watch what goes on there, they figure that there's no way they could do that.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Like I had one friend, this was 5 years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, that still was like, jiu-jitsu, I don't believe jiu-jitsu would work, this and that. I could just do whatever. And like we were buddies, so I was like, all right, let's fucking roll. So we cleared out the living room. Yeah. I had him he was unconscious in 10 seconds. Like he was like, wait, let's go again. Rear naked. I sat down. Like we tapped hands and I just sat. And he was like, what are you doing? And I grabbed his leg, pulled him down to the ground, and choked him. He was like, how'd that happen? Wait, no, you can't. Let's do it again.
Now, what do you
think for like 5 times? Just tap.
Like a bar fight. Because I remember I was at a bar with Greg. We wanted to watch Bubba Jenkins fight. And there was a guy that was being such a dick to us. And then Greg looks at the guy who has a big nose. Like, that nose is so breakable. That nose is so breakable.
It was a very breakable nose. It looked very shatterable. It just looked like one good tap and it was just going to,
But Tyler, what do you think is the best fight, martial art for a bar fight?
For a bar fight? Honestly, Krav Maga. A lot of people talk shit about Krav Maga, but the beauty of Krav Maga is they focus on, what's up, dude?
What's up, little man? What are you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Waiting for my mom.
All right, well.
Oh, yeah?
You never got into a fight, right?
A bar fight? A couple.
Have you ever got into a fight?
Oh, have you ever been to a fight, little man?
I can't remember
Who'd you fight against?
I don't even know
how you fight someone at school on the playground?
Don't fight anybody, okay? just tell your dad, because your dad can beat up everyone else's dad. So,
Right.
And there.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people talk shit about Krav Maga, but Krav Maga, the one thing that every jiu-jitsu school that I've been to, MMA gyms, Muay Thai, boxing, they never really talk about my mental mindset in a street fight. Like, look, this is not the sport. This is not I'm trying to beat this guy in a fight. This is like I could die. So you have to have the mindset of like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. And that's what Krav Maga is. Krav Maga is like, well, I'm not gonna like worry about points. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts and gouge your eyes.
So Pyle, like for a bar fight,
if I'm in a bar fight, I'm kicking you in the nuts and biting your face. Like, I don't.
Best martial art for a bar fight, Pyle.
Best martial art? No martial art.
Crazy.
Right hand straight to the jaw, put him down, and then it's over with.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be boxing?
A punch to the mouth.
Yeah.
Right on the chin. Shut him up. Or you just sweep. I've done it a million times. I used to do it when I bounced too. I just sweep them to the floor and put my knee on them and just keep holding there and let them feel stupid for a second. And they get
when
it.
I was bouncing, I would get a lot of guys, and it was so easy because they're drunk too. So it's like, it's so easy to just do a little foot sweep, like trip, and just hold them on the ground. And they're like, on, man. You're like,
yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that a couple times.
Have you really?
And I'm just like, hey, man, what'd I do, man?
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
do anything, bro.
Wait, hold up. Greg, when was that?
Forever ago, back in Dallas, I think. I remember getting the knee on the chest. I remember thinking to myself, too, I was like, who puts the knee on the chest?
I had a guy.
Why did you have me? What were you doing to cause that?
I don't know. Being me? Take a guess. I was being out of control, making whatever. I did something. Undoubtedly. I'm sure I deserved it more times than it happened.
You probably deserved it is what you're saying, right? You probably deserved it.
I totally deserved it. 1,000%.
No, this podcast recently, I got a lot of hate over the weekend because of as you know, we got to figure out the Mayhem situation because it just wasn't something, things were off and yada, yada. And I was reading them, which is the worst part. Like I read, somebody said, Adam, you skinny, fat, balding Jew who stutters. And that was like one of the good ones, So Pyle, I know, did you ever receive like shit on the internet from your fighting or your personality? And did you ever give them any mind?
No, don't pay any mind to them. I'd never have went back and forth with anyone on social. I refuse to. Never have, never will.
Yeah. Silence is always your best defense because they're trying to get a rise out of you.
Did it ever
want to know.
Did it ever get to you? Did it ever get to you though at all? Did it ever like?
Yeah, there would be some things, like if I'd gotten knocked out or something, it'd be like, like what's the view like or something, some stupid, something like that. I just, whatever. And it's just some troll sitting behind the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Picking boogers is never even sprinted before, probably.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I think the Mayhem thing will even out when you can get back to being in the same room again. I think part of it was just, filling the air because it's digital and there's a little bit of lag and things like that. And he had he was having problems with his tech and stuff like that. I think once everybody can get back together in one room, it'll be totally fine.
I think it's never going to happen. I think we need a healthy break. But definitely open to discussions and stuff like that. So that's it's just like we'll figure it all out.
Eventually.
What?
Eventually
we'll
back in regular society.
Yeah.
Exactly. When things even back out, everyone's in the same room on a set of mics over at the Speedweed Studios or something. Then I think it'll be much more back to the chemistry that it originally was.
Right. Of course. Now, what do you think is gonna happen when this is over? Like, is everyone just gonna? Because I can't wait to get back to classes with my kid and going to the Muay Thai classes and comedy.
I'll tell you what, driving around now, like even in the quarter of the traffic and the quarter of the people that are out now compared to a month and a half ago, I remember why I've been waiting for this my entire life, because I fucking hate people, dude. Like, I get in my car, I'm like, everybody in my neighborhood is walking in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
People aren't supposed to be out, so we're just gonna walk in a row of 5 people in the middle of the street while there's cars coming. Like
right now, doing
the street.
You're doing that now? Oh my God, that's crazy.
On the bikes. I went to Walmart to do something. I went to look for a shotgun, is what it was. I was looking for a shotgun. Dude, all the exercise equipment is all the little small weights, gone.
Gone, cleared out, totally.
People
now
people
want to shape.
I've seen so many more people exercising than more than
it's incredible.
What else are you gonna do? I mean, you got to fill the day,
Having a kid is different though. When we have to watch a baby, because everyone's like, people are telling me, why don't you just get rid of the kid during the podcast? Because my wife works from 8 a.m. to 6, and we don't have a nanny. She's on a break right now for half hours while she has a kid. But watching a kid is a full-time job, especially a 2-year-old. No, fucking educating. I'm exhausted at 6 o'clock. I'm just like, oh my God. Especially when you can't
wait to have another one, huh? How many you guys gonna have? About 4 of them?
Especially when you can't take the kid outside to do anything. It's one thing if I take her to class, take her to this class, Zumba class, tire her out.
Does you have a pool?
I have a backyard. But you can't take her to the park right now or oh my God. Everyone's like, I have so much free time. I'm learning up knitting and I'm taking up none of that.
So eerie. I remember when it first started, when this stuff started popping off, I'm going through I got my shopping cart. I'm at the grocery store. I'm walking through there. I'm looking at everybody. Everybody's looking at me. Shelves are empty. People wearing masks and gloves. And I'm just like, whoa.
It's weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. Shit got Mad Max real fucking fast, man.
People don't even want to make eye contact anymore. I turned the corner in the store the other day, walked down the aisle, and there's a lady on the opposite side of the aisle, 30 yards away, and she stops and turns around and goes the other way. I was like,
it is so crazy.
Really? I want to make a remake of Friday the 13th where Jason's wearing a mask with a mask over it.
When I was on March 9th, the beginning of March, I had to go to Denver to do this family thing. And I remember being in the Uber, going to the airport, and I was like, yeah, and he and I both were both like, yeah, I know. It seems like they're just exaggerating it. I mean, it's not even, 9 people have done, I think it's out of control. That was on the 9th on Monday. By the time I flew home on the 11th, I was wearing a mask, and I was just like, and I swear to God, and I was like, I shouldn't be on this plane. Why did I leave my house? I got to get home. I got to disinfect. I'm wiping down everything with wipes that I'd had in my backpack for years. And I was like, I got wipes. Oh my God. It was in 2 days, everything changed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously having a wife and a kid, obviously I have the most to live for, but a part of me, there's another part of me is like, I had a pretty good run. I gave it my best. I think some people will be upset.
Oh well.
I think people will be upset that I'm gone. I think I'll make a couple marquees, rest in peace, Adam Hunter. Thank you for making us laugh. But yeah, man, it's rough. It is tough. But I'm telling you, Greg, do one of my Zoom shows because it's a world of difference, dude. Plus, everyone's gonna be so out of whack by the time this thing starts up again. I want to be fresh,
Okay, I'm not against it.
All right, don't do it.
I'm just not ecstatic to do it,
Yeah.
It's just not the same. And that's the other thing when it comes to this business. I mean, for me to get back on stage in front of a live audience, this thing has to be cured because I got a wet mouth. I tend to spit all over everything. So this is not a good dynamic for this particular, this particular virus. So I think I need to wait until we've been fully cured, eradicated before I can ever take the stage again.
But maybe just go in one of those bubbles you walk in.
Yeah, get the bubble,
like Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
But Pyle,
those 1, 2, 3 people in the water. The ones
yeah.
walking on water, we get one of those fuckers.
But dude, like, Kyle, you know, like even when it comes to like being away, you or Greg, or you're away from your wife or your girl for a while, and then you come back, you want to be with her. When you're with her all the time, it's like my wife is like, "Gotta have sex." I'm like, social distancing, 6 feet away. You have to stay 6 feet away right now. It's crazy.
Social distancing. A hole in the sheet.
That's right.
I can't even watch porn because if I get caught watching porn, it's over. Like like
it's over.
If I'm watching porn, I'm watching porn during quarantine, and my wife asks me, she's gonna be like, "I'm right here." Like I'm like, "Yeah, but you just
you're right there."
My wife's hilarious. She's taken to telling me the exact amount of time she's gonna be gone. Like as if to say, "Listen, I'm gonna be gone for an hour, so get your jerk offs in, okay? I don't want to come back and have you still fucking, okay? You got 1 hour. I will be back in an hour." And I know that's what she's telling me. So I'm like, "Thanks, babe."
Has she ever caught you or no?
Almost once. That's it. Just almost. She like left and then forgot something and came back. And I was just I don't
5 seconds out the door, his pants are already down.
And I looked so guilty too. There was nothing about it that didn't just stink of me about to jerk off. It was terrible.
What about under the bed? You guys ever gotten caught doing it under the bed?
Under the bed?
Under the bed?
Yeah.
While she's sleeping? No.
While she's sleeping.
That's a good hiding spot, huh?
I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't have to do it under the bed. I do it right on top of the bed while the wife is out.
All over that bed.
All over it.
Tyler, how did
we have a white duvet?
How did the Marines do it? Because you guys are all together all the time. You wait for everyone to
Did you just put on some kind of Cylon voice synthesizer? What the fuck is that?
This is what you went to the dark side.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, queefed.
Is it still like that?
No, it's better now.
Okay.
You were speaking in pussy fart. It was
the main
straight pussy fart.
So the main spot in the military is the porta shitter. You go to the porta shitter and jerk off.
Oh, that's
like.
I thought you guys just did it in your bunk and fucking announced it like loading number one.
I mean, that too.
Yeah.
When you're in like. Full house in Florida, it was like you have two roommates, so you're in a room like 15 by 15 foot room with two other guys, and it's like, all right, well, when they're asleep, I'm going to town, and vice versa. You know what happens. But porta shitters are usually like anytime you're out in the field, which sucks because you got gear, you got all your gear on, you have to go in there with your rifle. It's fucking 100 degrees outside. You're sitting in the plastic thing. The shit smells like, I'm gonna fucking burn it. God damn it. And it's just
now that's accomplished. That is an accomplishment right there.
And you learn how to get it done quick. It's not an experience. It's not like I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna get this. It's like, nah, this has to go.
How do you even get turned on? Like, what do you see that starts it? That you're like, okay, that's all I needed to see. Here we go.
Well, you're also, keep in mind, most of us were 19, 20, so you
don't
have to
see
there
you go.
It's just there. It's like, all right, hey, I got to go take a shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Like, you had your gun next to you, and you're in all kinds of gear. And
this is my rifle. This is my gun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is for jerking off.
And usually, when I was in, it was 2009, 2010, so like I still had a shitty flip phone that you could barely get internet on. You're getting pixelated tits, like whatever, man, or a magazine or a picture.
Yeah, bring back the magazines,
baby. Here's what you got.
Yeah, dude, I was in high school. Victoria's Secret catalogs were like, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Sears.
That could get it.
Newspaper.
That could get it started, but I couldn't really finish the Victoria's Secret.
When you move on to Men's Journal?
Inc. Actually, the small business publication Inc. Jesus.
Well, listen.
Yeah,
Remember that one porno mag called We?
No.
OUI. It had the French name We. Oh man,
The
that
girls
was a good one.
The girls that have hairy armpits and stuff. Or?
Oh,
Yeah, big bush, lots of bush.
lots of bush.
bet they still have it somewhere.
Your wife's from Russia. She shaved or no?
What do you think? You think I'll let a chick sit around my house with hairy armpits?
No, I'm talking about her.
The other parts.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course.
It's got to be at least a trim, man. I don't think anybody's still sporting like a bush.
Yeah. Chicks don't like that.
I don't know. For some girls, it's kind of made a comeback.
Dude, I'll tell you what. The first 3 weeks of this quarantine, I was
Right now, I wouldn't care.
Going on. Yeah.
Really? You wouldn't care?
Huh?
Right now, I wouldn't care. I'll just part that hair. I'll find it. I'll get in there.
My wife wears a face mask on her vagina, just so you know. Anyway, listen, people. That's our podcast. Tomorrow we got Uriah Faber on.
Right on.
We also have Jesse Jane and Michael Blackson.
Nice.
Yeah. Wednesday, I'll go for the whole lineup because we're going strong this week, guys. Anything we can do to help make the quarantine better for you guys, and so we got Nate Quarry, Juliana Pena, Faber, and Wednesday Jesse Jane, Dave Rickles, Eve Edwards.
Nice.
Thursday, we got Jay Haran, Kelvin Gastelum. Friday,
Wow.
Dawson, Sarah McMahon. So we got stack shows this week.
Nice.
Pyle.
That's awesome, man. There's a lot of bored people.
Pyle, thank you for everything you do. Pyle.
Thank
you.
You guys, yeah, right on. Thanks. Good stuff.
Brett, thank you. Tyler, thank you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.
See ya.